Getting or receiving an education in the black community can be very, very difficult. Okay, because if you are educated, then you are seen as white, you are seen as selling out. And thus this stereotype has been pervasive, and it has not ended in any way whatsoever. And we have to ask ourselves a question: where did this come from? Well, if you remember programs like Desmonds, okay, and also the fresh Prince of Bel, where you had Will Smith, who was the cool guy, okay, and the educated one was the idiot, the educated one was the buffoon. So they were celebrating blackness having no education. If you were uneducated, then you were cool, and if you were educated, then you were like the guy on the Prince of Bel, or you were like the African guy on Desmonds. Okay, so this is how they played games with black people, celebrating ignorance and uneducation. This is what black culture has now turned to. This black woman, she was a banker, okay, and the black community called her white because she had an education. She wanted to work hard for a living, and for that she was called bounty. Brown on the outside and white on the inside. She was articulate, and for that she was called bounty. Okay, now what I find interesting, wait for the shock, same thing happens to professional black men who study, become scientists, computers, experts, programmers, or even lawyers or accountants. These same black guys are told that you're too white. You're not black enough. I ask them, what do you mean I'm not black enough? What exactly do you mean? And what they mean is, you're not 50 Cent, you're not Snoop Dogg killing black people. That's what they define as being black, killing and stabbing black people. Yet what's interesting, these same people, when they get into trouble, they're looking for a black solicitor. These same people, when they get into trouble, they're looking for a black accountant. These same people, when they get into trouble, they want you, they're asking you, why don't you invest in your community? I will tell you why. Because you bullied them. You were calling them white. You were telling them that education was only for white people, not for black people. Watching too many, Hollywood movies, and of course, rap music has created that dysfunctional mindset in the black community. I know black guys who started going to college, but you know something? They dropped out because they were told that this stuff is only for white people. And they dropped out, turned to selling drugs, turned to crime, and they screwed themselves up. Do you know, in schools, black boys are far more intelligent than white boys from the age of 7 years old. Black boys are more intelligent than white boys, then as soon as they reach puberty, something happens to them. And it's not racism. Black culture starts to sit into their minds. They start to look at Hollywood, look at rappers. The rappers are destroying black people, but you don't want to see it because you love that kind of filth. Rappers, Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent, all this grime music that celebrate you killing your own. But you don't want to know because you love that dirty, devilish stuff. You love that filth. You know, and you know, this black woman, she was a banker and she was called white because she was educated. But now she lives in a big, massive house, you know something, while the people that were bullying her are now in prison or on drugs, you know, doing nothing with their lives. So it's almost like black consciousness means poverty. Black knowledge means staying in the ghetto. Because only white people and Asians can be educated and successful. And this mindset is only peculiar to black British and black Americans because the Africans don't think like that. African people value education. It's African Americans and black people that don't value education. They're watching too much rap music and too much Hollywood, too many Hollywood movies. That's the reason why our minds are messed up in America and in Britain. You know, black people are professionals going through hell, not supported by their own communities. Why? For the simple reason they are seen as white. So if you're successful, if you're happy, if you go on a tour, you know, if you go on a cruise ship, then you're white. You're living white values. You know, it doesn't say much about black people. You know, we want hell. We want to live with the devil. We want to sit at the table of Lucifer. You know, it tells you the desperate state of black culture. It tells you how deprived black culture is, how horrible, you know, it has become. When did it become like this? When? I'll tell you when. When rappers was seen as God Almighties, when rappers were rapping, killing your own race, stabbing your own race, and you took on board this is what blackness is about. And you believed it, which is why we can't curtail the black on black violence. We can't stop it because we worship them too much. We glorify in each other's deaths. You know, we don't value education. The Africans do, but we don't. Because we're just wishing and praying for our own self-destruction. But when they become lawyers and solicitors, suddenly we're looking for a black barrister. And that's the reason